Summits Church in Nayland in Milford Haven. I'm super excited about the 48 Hours of Prayer that Awakening House of Prayer are putting on. I think that it's the beginning of something, of a momentum of prayer that the Lord is birthing in our country and in the church. So I'm really excited about it. The Lord's been speaking to me a lot during this time of coronavirus, just about the opportunity that we have as the body of Christ right now and what we're going to do with it. And if you look back throughout history, if you look throughout the Bible, revivals began through prayer. Famines and plagues and wars were brought to an end through the prayers of God's people. If you look throughout the Bible, that's the case. Disastrous things were happening, and it was brought to an end through the prayers of God's people. And if you look throughout history, not just the Bible, like at revivals that have passed around the world, every revival began through prayer, every single one without exception. And so, history tells us that prayer is key. And also the Lord's been speaking to me about the fact that, so often we can lean on God's sovereignty. Well, God is sovereign, like he'll make a revival happen when he wants to. He'll end coronavirus when he wants to, and all this stuff. And that's true, but actually God has always wanted co-laborers. We are supposed to be co-laborers with Christ. That's why we're called the bride, and he's the bridegroom, because it's that kind of partnership between us and the Lord that he desires and that he longs for. He does do things sovereignly in the world, but he wants to do things with us and through us. And our part of the deal, first and foremost, begins with prayer. And so I feel like the Lord is calling us to step in and step up as co-laborers, lean into his heart and get a hold of what are the desires of his heart. What is he longing for right now? And praying and declaring from that place, because that's the calling that he's given us. Jesus, when the thing that marked the disciples most about Jesus was his prayer life. Of all the things they could have asked him, they said, Jesus, teach us how to pray. Because he had such an intimacy with the Father through prayer. And that's how we gain more intimacy with the Father, is by leaning in prayer. The word prayer puts people off sometimes, but actually it's this posture of getting alone with God, or sometimes you're with a company of believers, but you're getting in that place in your heart with God, and you're leaning into him and getting to know him more and asking him questions and listening and finding out what he wants us to pray. And then we see things happen on the earth. And so, the disciples asked Jesus to teach them how to pray. And he taught us to pray, Our Father who is in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so this is a key for us when we're praying, is the closer we get to God, the more we get to see what is it like in heaven. There's no sickness in heaven. There's no death in heaven. There's no poverty in heaven. There's no addictions in heaven. There's no divorce in heaven. And we get to see what it's like there. And so then we get to know how to pray here. Sometimes we feel like, I don't know how to pray. I don't know what the perfect will of God is. Well, actually, we do, when we think about the way things are in his world. And if it doesn't exist in his world, it shouldn't exist in ours. And so that's how we can have confidence, knowing that, one, God has called us to be co-laborers. He wants us to pray with him. He wants to do things with us and through us. And then two, that he has commissioned us to pray on earth as it is in heaven. And so we know the kind of things to pray for and to pray against as well. And so I just want to encourage you guys that I think the Lord I know that he's doing such exciting things. And he wants to do it through us, and we have an opportunity now to press in prayer in a way that we haven't before, and see incredible things happen and believe him for more. All the things that he's promised, all the things that he's said, we get to take him at his word. And so, I hope you guys will join us in the 48 hours of prayer as you can. Bless you guys.